You know how some phrases just stick with you forever, while others just kind of fade away? Or how one sentence can move you to tears, but another one, saying pretty much the same thing, leaves you totally cold? Well, today we're going to dive into the classical Arabic science that actually explains all of that. It's called Ilm al-Balaaghah, which is really the art of eloquence.
Okay, let's look at a super clear example right off the bat. So on one side, you've got, he is very brave. Simple, clear, yeah, it gets the point across. But then, look at the other one. He is a lion in battle. Wow, you can almost feel the difference in impact, right?
So what is it? What's the secret sauce here? What's that magic ingredient that makes the second sentence so much more vivid, so much more powerful? You know, it's not just about the words themselves. It's really about the art that's going on behind them.
And the answer to that question? Well, it lies in this amazing science that's all about unlocking the full potential of language. Think of it as a framework for truly powerful and effective communication.
And yep, that science is called Ilmul Balaaghah. So what is it really? It's the art of expressing meaning in the absolute clearest, most powerful, and most beautiful way you possibly can. Honestly, my favorite way to boil it down is this. It's about saying the right thing in the right way at the right time. It's as simple and as profound as that.
But you might be thinking, okay, so why should I care about some ancient science of rhetoric? Well, because its principles are totally timeless. They stretch from the most sacred divine texts all the way down to the conversations we have every single day.
I mean, at the highest level, studying Balaaghah is absolutely essential for anyone who wants to deeply understand and appreciate the miraculous nature of the Quran. But it goes way beyond that. It's basically a toolkit for life. It helps you become a more beautiful writer, a more persuasive speaker, really a more effective communicator in pretty much everything you do. Get this incredible example from the Quran. A simple, direct translation might be something like, "My head became white with old age." Okay, but the actual word used in the Arabic is ishta'ala, which means ignited or blazed. So it's, "My head ignited with white hair." Can you just picture that for a second? It's not a slow, gradual graying. It's a sudden flash fire of white. Now that is the power of a single, perfectly chosen word.
So how does this whole thing work? Thankfully, this really deep science is organized into a super clear three-part structure. And once you get a handle on these three branches, you basically understand the engine that drives all of eloquence.
All right, so the three branches are, first, Ilm al-Ma'ani, and that's all about context. Then there's Ilm al-Bayan, which is where we get into all the cool figurative stuff like metaphors. And finally, you have Ilm al-Badi, which is about making what you say artistic and just memorable. Let's do a quick tour of each one.
Okay, first up, Ilm al-Ma'ani. Think of this as the foundation. It teaches one crucial rule. Context is king. The same message has to be delivered differently depending on who you're talking to, right? And what the situation is. It's all about being strategic with the very structure of your sentences. And this example illustrates that point perfectly. Look, if you're just stating a fact to someone who already believes you, you just say, "Muhammad is standing." Simple. But what if they doubt you? What if they're skeptical? You can't say it the same way. You have to change your structure. You add emphasis. Indeed, Muhammad is standing. See that? That one small word, indeed, changes the entire force of the statement, and it's all because the context changed.
All right, let's move on to our second branch, Ilm al-Bayan, and you'll see how this all builds on top of each other. Now, this is where language really comes alive with imagery. It's the science of, well, painting pictures with words, using figurative language to express a meaning so much more powerfully than just a direct statement ever could.
Yep, this is the home of the simile and the metaphor. So we could start with a simple comparison. He is brave like a lion. That's a simile. It works. But Ilm al-Bayan shows us how to elevate that to something so much stronger. We just drop the word like and make a much bolder claim. He is a lion. Whoa. Now he's not just like a lion, he literally embodies the very concept of a lion's courage. Big difference.
And that brings us to our final branch, Ilm al-Badi. You know, if Ma'ani is the foundation and Bayan is the architecture, then Badi is like the beautiful interior design. This is the science of making what you say sound good, making it aesthetically pleasing, rhythmic, and just plain unforgettable through all sorts of cool literary devices.
A perfect example is this really powerful phrase, "Truth is salvation and lies are destruction." You hear that? Notice the perfect balance between the two halves? The direct, sharp contrast between salvation and destruction?
This kind of parallel structure makes the statement feel so balanced, so profound, and it's incredibly memorable. That, right there, is ilm al-badi in action.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this is all very classical, very academic. But what's so fascinating is that you, yes you, already use the principles of Balaaghah every single day. You probably just don't even realize you're doing it.
For instance, in Arabic, a classic metaphor for someone with just a massive amount of knowledge is, he is a sea of knowledge. It immediately gives you this incredible image of depth and vastness, something that just saying he is very smart could never match. Now bring it back to your own life. When you are completely, totally overwhelmed with tasks, what do you say? Chances are you said something like, I'm drowning in work.
And here's the crucial point. You are not literally drowning in water, are you? And that scholar isn't literally an ocean. But in both cases, we're using a powerful metaphor to get across a feeling, a reality, way more effectively than a literal statement ever could. This is a universal human thing. It's the universal power of Balaaghah.
And look, if there's one central idea, one golden rule to take away from all this, it's this. Eloquence, at its heart, is just making your speech perfectly suitable for the situation. It's not about being fancy for the sake of being fancy. It's about being effective.
I mean, that's really what it all comes down to. This entire science is basically a guide to help us achieve 3 simple but super powerful goals. Speak clearly, speak beautifully, and, most importantly, always speak in a way that's appropriate for the moment and for who you're talking to.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know its name, Balaaghah, now that you kind of know what to look for, you know the right words, the powerful images, those beautiful structures, where are you going to start noticing eloquence out in the world? In a great speech you hear, a line from a poem, or, hey, maybe even in the very next thing you say?